All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you all had a great weekend and a good Monday. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll just start in a seated position. So just sitting up nice and tall. Those hands can rest on the knees, closing down those eyes. Just starting to breathe in and out through the nose. And taking that really deep breath in and exhaling it out, just nice and slow. Get a big breath in. And exhale. As we inhale, we want to really focus that breath to the lowest part of the lungs, the middle, all the way up into those collarbones, sitting up even taller, and then exhaling that breath out. Just continue that breath on your own, filling those lungs as much as you can, and then exhaling it out nice and slow. Now let's bring those hands out to the sides, flipping those palms, reaching it up nice and tall. Let's interlace those fingers. So just those fingertips, or the pointer finger and the thumb is released from that clasp. And then just take a gentle bend over to that right side. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, just sway it over to that other side. Inhale, reach it back up. We'll twist it over to that right side. Sit tall on that inhale. Exhale, deeper into that twist. And bring it back to center. Reach it up and exhale it to the other side. Sit tall and twist. And bring it back to center. Reach those arms up. Interlace those fingers. Bend it to the right and up to the left. Bring it back up and let's twist it to the right. Back to center. Over to the other side. And bring it back to center. Reach it up tall and side bend. Back up to the other side. And up and twist. And reach it up and twist to the other side. Good, now bring it back to center. We're gonna go ahead and roll it down onto our backs. We're gonna get a little warm up through that core. So we're gonna interlace those hands behind our head. We're gonna stack those knees so they're right over those hips. Okay, we're just gonna start by lifting the shoulders and the head off the mat. So don't yank your chin to your chest. Think lifting that head up almost to the ceiling. Then we're gonna extend that right leg out, just hovering a few inches above the floor. Bring it back up. Go to the other side. Right leg extends down. The back stays nice and flat. Keep lifting through the shoulders. Bring it back to center. Here we go. Left leg. Let's go 10. Back to center. 9. Back. 8. Back. 7. Back. Lifting those shoulders up a little bit higher. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Hug it back. Those knees in as we gently rock from side to side. Again, stacking those shins above the knees, shins parallel to the ground, interlace those fingers behind the head. We're gonna extend that left leg out. We're gonna twist that left elbow to that right knee, bring it to center, and then switch sides. So here we go. Again, 10, big twist. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release it as we hug those knees in. Now we're gonna get a lot of momentum here. We're gonna rock forward and back, and I want you to try to make your way onto your feet and land in a forward fold. So big rock plant, and then hips high as we fold. So if you need to use your hands or kind of get up another way, that's fine. Get finding that flat back on that inhale. And exhale, sliding those hands back down as we fold. Bend into those knees flat back. Let's rise all the way up to standing. Reach it up nice and tall. Interlacing those fingers. Let's bend it to the right. Inhale it back up. Exhale, bend it to the left. Inhale, bring it back up as we release those hands and fold. Finding that flat back. And exhale, plant those hands down. Step those feet back to our plank. Shifting that weight forward. Shoulders over the fingertips. We're going to add in a push-up. So maybe you lower onto those knees as we lower. Shoulders height of the elbows. Press it back up. Lower it down. Now inhale, lift that chest up, cobra. Or maybe press it all the way up into that upward facing dog. And then exhaling those hips back to the sky. Down dog. Really pressing that tailbone up. Pressing those heels down. Gripping those palms into the mat. Let's inhale on the toes. Bend those knees. Step those feet top of the mat. Half lift on that inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Reach the arms up tall. Bend it to the right. Inhale it up. To the left. Inhale it up. Exhale, release those hands full. Inhale that half lift. Exhale, plant those hands down. Stepping those feet back to our plank. But lower onto those knees. We'll add in that push-up. And vinyasa. And exhaling those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Let's do that one more time. Coming onto the toes. Stepping or hopping those feet, top of the mat. Half lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise. And exhale, bend it to the right. Inhale it back up. Exhale it to the left. Inhale it back up. And release those hands as we fold. Half lift on the inhale. Exhale, plant those hands. Step those feet back to our plank. Lower those knees down. Push up and vinyasa. And exhaling those hips up to the sky. Downward facing dog. I'm going to take another breath in, down dog. And then let's come onto the toes. Bend those knees, stepping those feet a little bit wider so they're going to come behind the hands towards the outside edges of the mat. Turning those toes out just a few degrees. We'll sink those hips down, lifting through that chest. Hands come to heart center. So those hips are a little bit tighter. You might be up a little bit higher. Really drive those knees out and see if maybe you can sink those hips down a little bit lower. Let's stay with that breath. Stay really active with this. So chest is up, core is tight, knees are driving out, toes are gripping into the mat. Now we're going to extend that right arm down to the ground. Left arm reaches up. Just gently pressing that right knee out a little bit more. And then we'll switch sides. So left arm's going to lower down. Right arm reaches up. And lower that hand down. Straightening those legs as we fold. Inhale, find that half lift. Exhale, plant those hands. Step those feet back to our plank. Again, we'll add in that push-up. And then vinyasa. And exhaling those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Let's bring those feet a little closer together. Maybe those toes even come together to touch. We're going to inhale that right leg up. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose. Inhale it back up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, curl it in. Stepping that foot through. Back heel lowers down. Inhale, reach those arms up. We'll find that side bend first. So right arm lowers down. Just hook it behind your back. Left arm is reaching up and over. Keep bending into that front knee a little bit more. Then inhaling those arms up. Exhale, hover the chest. Reaching those arms back. Inhale it back up. Keep that core tight. Exhale, hover. Inhale, reach it up. Now this time we're going to hover that chest. We're going to lift that back leg up. So coming into that warrior three. So those hips are squared off. Reaching through those fingers. You need to grab onto a wall or something to balance on. Let's take a big step back, keeping the back toes on the ground, heel lifted. as we just sink into a crescent lunge. Sink down a little bit deeper. A little deeper. A little bit lower. And then we can lower that knee all the way down, straighten that front leg as we fold into that half split. And let's rebend into that knee. And step that foot back to our plank. Vinyasa. Exhaling the hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Bring those feet together. Inhale, that left leg lifts. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose. Inhale, send it up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, curl it in. Stepping that foot through, back heel down, rise up, warrior one. We'll lower that left arm down behind the back. Right arm reaches up, finding that side stretch. Keep bending into that left knee. And inhaling, reaching those arms up. Exhale, hover the chest. Inhale, reach it back up. Good. Exhale, hover. Airplane wings with those arms. Inhale, reach it up. Now we'll hover that chest. We're going to float that back leg up. Square those hips. Pressing through that heel. Reaching through those fingers. Finding that balance. Finding that still spot to stare at. And then we'll take that big step back. Heel will stay lifted. Arms reach up. And then we'll just sink down. Nice and slow. Until that back knee touches the mat. And then let's straighten that front leg as we fold half splits. And then we bend into that knee. Plant those hands. Step it back to our plank. And vinyasa. Exhaling those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. You can come onto the toes. Bend those knees, stepping those feet behind the hands. Turning those toes out just slightly. Sink those hips down into that yoga squat. So pressing those knees out. Chest is lifted, nice flat back. Okay, so if your hips are really low, but you're kind of rounded like this, just come up a little bit higher. So one more breath. And straighten those legs as we fold. Inhale, find that half lift. And exhale, plant those hands. So you can step or hop the feet back. We're adding in that push-up. And then we're moving into that vinyasa. So hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Feet together. Inhale, that right leg lifts. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose. Inhale, send it back up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, curl it in. Stepping that foot through. Back heel down, reaching those arms up. Bringing that right arm down as that left arm reaches up and over, side bend. But inhale, reaching those arms up. Exhale, hover, reach the arms back. Inhale it up. Exhale, hover. Inhale, reach it up. And then exhale, hover that chest, lifting that back leg into that warrior three. And then big step back, those toes are down, heels are up, reaching those arms up. And then slowly sink that hip, or sink the back knee down towards the mat. As slow as you can. And then we'll straighten that front leg, half splits. We bend into that knee, plant the hands, send it back, vinyasa. And exhale, hips to the sky, down dog. And bring those feet together. Inhale, that left leg lifts. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose. Inhale it back up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, curl it in. Step that foot through. Back heel down. Inhale, reaching those arms up. Finding that side bend over to that left side. Inhale, bring it back up. And exhale, hover the chest. Reach the arms back. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hover. Inhale, reach it up. Last time, hover that chest. We're going to float that back leg up into that warrior three. And then we'll take that big step back. Heel is lifted, reaching those arms up. And then slow, 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 we'll lower that knee down. And straighten that front leg as we fold in that half splits. And then we bend that knee. And step that foot back to our plank. Vinyasa. Then we'll send those hips back to the sky. Downward facing dog. Now let's come onto the toes. Again, we'll step those feet behind the hands. Turn those toes out just slightly as we sink those hips down, coming into that squat. Staying with that breath. Really active with the feet, driving those knees out wide. Again, let's lower that right hand down. Left arm reaches up. And switch sides. And now bring it back to center. Now, from here, if you need to roll around the spine, I want you to get your hips as low as you can. And we're going to drop down onto our tailbone. We're going to lift those legs up. So coming into our boat pose. Little core work here. So lifting through those legs, maybe even straightening them out if this is a little bit too aggressive. And you need to bring the hands to the knees or even the toes down towards the mat. You have that option. So stay here, breathe. And we're going to add a little twist to it. So bring the hands to the right, to the left. Here we go. 10, 9, 8. Move slow. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just go ahead and cross one leg over the other. Give it a little rock, sitting up nice and tall. And we'll repeat. So again, lift it up. We've got the 2 more rounds of this, okay? Stay with me. Modifying as needed. Stay tall. Stay lifted through that chest. Nice flat back. And here we go. 10, 9, 8. Keep breathing. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And cross. And hug. Give it a little break. One more time. All right, here we go. Lean it back. Lift those legs up. Reach through those arms. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, hold, hold. Now extend it back. Let's lower the legs down. Let's lower the back down. Legs stay lifted. Arms are reaching up overhead, kind of making a little banana shape. Hold it. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug those knees in. Just give it that gentle rock from side to side. Yes. Start to rock forward and back. So we're going to do it again. Okay, big, big rocks. We're going to land on those feet, lifting through those hips into a forward fold. And another breath here. Good, now plant those hands down. Let's step or hop those feet back to our plank. Let's add in that push-up. And vinyasa. It's sending the hips up, down dog. We're going to inhale that right leg up. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose. Inhale it back up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, curl it in. Stepping that foot through. Back heel down. Inhaling those arms up. So we're coming back to that warrior 1. Now we're going to interlace those fingers behind the back. Open up through that chest. Sink into that front knee a little bit more. Now, bend into that front knee, hover that chest. We're going to lift that back leg up into that warrior 3. Try and keep those hands clasped, squaring off those hips. Opening up through that chest. Another breath. And then we'll release that back heel, leg down. Again, heel stays lifted. Arms reach up overhead into that crescent lunge. Let's sink a little bit deeper. Big stretch through that right, that left hip flexor. Now bring those hands to heart center as we twist, hooking that left elbow across that thigh. Press into those palms as we twist. Look over that right shoulder. Back leg is nice and strong. Now unwind. Lower the hands down towards the mat. Ground the back heel down as we straighten that front leg, flattening out that back, coming into our pyramid. So with those hips nice and level. Might shift a little bit more weight into that front foot, but we're still really pressing into that left heel. Good, so maybe even bringing the hand to the shin. We're gonna twist, right arm is gonna reach up towards the sky. So again, we want that back flat. That's why you maybe want to bring that leg up or the hands up a little higher on that leg. And then lower that hand down. Go and step it back to our plank. Vinyasa. And exhaling those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Feet together. Inhale. That left leg lifts. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose. Inhale it back up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, curl it in. Step that foot through. Back heel grounds down. Inhale those arms up. Warrior one. Now draw those elbows down. Interlace the fingers. Open up through that chest. Now keeping those fingers interlaced. We're going to start to hover that chest over that front leg. A lot of weight to that left foot. And then we're going to lift that right leg up, squaring those hips off, pointing those toes down, pulling those knuckles back towards that right heel. And then take that big step back. Heel stays lifted, right heel stays lifted. So you reach those arms up. Now bring those hands to heart center and twist, hooking that right elbow across that left knee. Core stays tight. Twist a little more, looking over that left elbow. And then bring it back to center. Lower those hands down. Back heel grounds down as we straighten that front leg. Come into that pyramid. Stay with that breath, feeling that nice stretch in that front hamstring. So maybe even the calf, all the way up the back of that leg. Now we can slide those hands up a little bit higher. We want a really flat back when we twist. Keep pulling that left hip back as we twist. That left arm is reaching up. Now lower that hand down. Go and step it back to a plank and vinyasa. And exhaling those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Then let's come onto the toes. Stepping those feet into the top of the mat. Again, bringing the feet a little bit wider. So walk those toes out so the toes are right at the edges of the mat. Heels in slightly, sinking those hips back down into that squat. Chest is lifted, hands come to heart center. Hold it here. Driving those knees out. So you can use the elbows, but I'm trying to use these glutes, your butt, basically, to drive those knees out a little bit more. Now you're more than welcome to stay here in this squat, okay? Or if you want to play around with that crow pose that we've been working on the past couple weeks, hey, spread those fingers out. So again, I get my pinky fingers all the way out to the edge of my mat. Okay, now I bring my hips up high. I hook my knees really high on my triceps, maybe up to my armpits. So even that little pocket for your knees can be, or your armpits can be a little pocket for the knees. Bringing the weight into my hands. Now, right now, as you notice, my forearms, or my forearms are parallel and my elbows are right over my wrists. Looking forward, lifting that chest slightly, and then start to lift those legs up. Okay, maybe you just do a little tap, kind of march. Maybe you find that those feet can just float up. So you don't really want to hop. If you hop, you might hit your face. So try and just bring that weight forward, your face a little bit closer to the ground, lift through the chest, and then try to float those feet up. Hold it for as long as you can. And then maybe you hop those feet back to that plank. And then we'll move into that vinyasa. Maybe give it a little extra hold in that up dog. Stretch out through those hip flexors. And then let's send those hips back to the heels for our child's pose. Little breather. All right, we got one more round of abs. So making your way onto your back. Okay, so you can either just swing those hips around or maybe you hop the feet through. Okay, starting in a boat pose. Okay, so again, we'll be here, lean it back slightly, lifting through those legs, reaching through those fingers. Let's hold, breathe. Maybe we extend those legs out a little bit. Ooh, a little bit more. Try not to fall over like me. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Now extend it out. Reach those arms overhead. Try and keep those legs lifted. This low back is flat. Now we're going to reach right leg up. Reach for the ankle. Bring it back down. Left leg lifts. Kind of crunch up a little bit higher and down. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower it down, hugging those knees in. Give it a little rock from side to side. Now let's plant those feet down. So we've been working those abs a lot. Just try and keep those glutes going a little bit. So we're going to lower those feet down about hip distance apart. Walk those shoulder blades together. Okay, so it's going to lift through your chest. The tendency is going to be for that low back to lift, but keep it pressing flat into the mat. So press into those heels. Toes are parallel to each other. Grip the heels, balls of feet, toes into the mat. We're just going to lift the tailbone up first and then roll up one vertebrae at a time. So try and scoop that tailbone up towards the ceiling. Keep that core tight. Really feeling this in your glutes, in your hamstrings. If you don't, press into your heels a little bit harder and then pull those heels back towards you. And slowly roll it down. And press and lift it back up. We got 4 more of these. And down. Let's go lift. And down. Last 2. Lift. And down. Last one. Lift. And bring it back down. Go ahead and roll yourself back up. This time again, just cross those ankles. Send it back to a downward facing dog. Pause it for a moment. You stretch out through those hamstrings. You might have gotten a little tight through those hip bridges. That is the point. We do want to build strength as well as refining that flexibility. Now we're going to bring that right knee towards that right wrist. Foot's going to come across. As we slide that left leg back, and now start to bend into that back knee. Again, lower that forearm down. Okay, you can also keep on the hand first until you grab onto the forearm or grab onto the foot, then maybe you can lower that forearm down. Just making sure we're not yanking that foot across the body at all. We want that knee tracking that nice straight line so that heel is coming right towards the left glute. So just keep hugging that knee in or that foot in a little bit more. And if it's not feeling great on your knee, you don't have to do this. You can just stay in that regular pigeon. We'll go ahead and release. And then we'll just find our way onto both forearms, resting that head down either on the fists or on your arms. Taking that big breath in, and then just relaxing, softening into this hip stretch. And then come back to those hands. Make your way back to that down dog. So any movement that you need here, so maybe it's a lift and then open, or maybe just circles, whatever you feel like you need. And then we'll go to the other side. Let's step that left knee towards that left wrist. Foot comes across. Sliding that right leg back. And then we can start to bend that back knee. So we reach for that foot. So I like to grab onto that pinky toe side of the foot so my thumb is up. That way I'm also getting a stretch through that shoulder. Again, making sure we're bringing that heel to the middle of your right glute, your right butt cheek, basically. And if you have that foot, just slowly release it down and make your way onto those forearms. Just resting here, relaxing into this stretch. And then slowly come up onto those hands. Sending that leg back. Maybe opening up that hip as we bend that top knee. And then we can lower that leg down. Maybe give it a breath or two in down dog. Let's come onto our backs. So hugging those knees into the chest. And we'll keep that right knee hugged in. That left leg will extend out. And then with that left hand, just guide that knee across. That right arm will reach out for that spinal twist. Take that big breath in. And exhale. Maybe find a little bit more twist. We bring that knee back to center. And switch sides. We'll hug that left knee in. Right leg extends out, and we'll twist, reaching that left arm. Good big breath in. Exhale a little deeper into that twist. And then bring that knee back to center. Go ahead and hug both knees into your chest. Maybe give it a little rock from side to side. And we'll round that spine, bringing the forehead to the knees. Extend those legs out. Reach those arms up overhead. Full body stretch. The fingertips down through those toes. Taking another big breath. And then exhaling. Bringing those arms down by the sides. Just releasing any stress and tension you might still be holding on to. Letting those arms rest down by the sides. Those legs can become a little bit wider. You can take another big breath in. And relax. Rest here for a few moments. Just letting yourself be in this quiet space. Focused on that breath. Begin to deepen your breath. Just wiggling those fingers in your toes. Reach again those arms overhead for that full body stretch. Hug those knees into the chest as we roll it over to that right side. Your head can just rest on your arm. Just slowly press yourself up into that seat. Sitting tall, eyes remain closed. Pausing for a breath. And then winking those eyes open. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great evening, and then hopefully I see you all back here tomorrow for our 7 a.m. all levels 25-minute flow. Thanks, guys.